allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Or to silence your cell phones, have them. The first item on the agenda is citizen concerns. If there's anyone here to speak on an item not already addressed on the agenda, also if someone's not able to be present at any time during the meeting, they may call the number 712-224-6014 and request to be heard by the board. Is there anyone on the line, Andy?
No one on the line.
Very well. We'll move on to item 2, approval of the agenda. I'll move it. Second by DeWitt. Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Items 3 through 8 constitute a consent agenda of routine action items to be considered by one motion. Items pass unanimously unless a separate vote is requested by a board member. Item 3 is approval of the minutes of the April 14th meeting. Item 4 is approval of the claims. Item 5 from juvenile detention is to receive the juvenile detention March population report. Item 6 from the county auditor includes A, receive a board member appointment of Lillian Rodriguez to the WIT Director District 7 position, and B, receive the county recorder's report of fees collected. 7 from human resources includes A, approval of the memorandum of personnel transactions, B, the authorization to initiate the hiring process, and C, providing Woodbury County employees the option of early withdrawal from their deferred compensation plan with nationwide retirement solutions due to COVID-19 related issues. This was something enacted as a possibility by the legislation. Employers simply have to amend their plans to allow people to take advantage of this. And 8 from secondary roads to approve the permit to work in the right-of-way for Chris Wren. I'll move the consent agenda.
Second.
Second by Radig. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Item 9 from Human Resources is for action to authorize an additional deputy position for the Woodbury County Sheriff's Office.
Thomas, Woodbury County Human Resources Director. This is a request to create a position for a new deputy within our Sheriff's Office. We do have a retiring employee, which they are not going to replace, who is a civilian captain, and they would like to replace that position with a deputy. It's a considerable amount of savings, at least $20,000 in wages the first year. So we would just like to open the position to create for the new employee.
So does this authorize and deauthorize?
We did deauthorize last week.
Okay. All right. How did I miss that?
Any questions?
I'll move it.
Second.
Second by Potabom. Any discussions or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 10 for information from the Board of Supervisors and myself is titled Correcting Misinformation Regarding the Disparate Treatment of 2 Cases of Administrative Leave Within the Sheriff's Office. As you can read in the executive summary, after the last meeting, I went back and listened to the YouTube video, make sure I had everything correct. The result of that meeting, based on the discussion, based on the confusion from some, especially the HR director, of what the first case was referring to, there was never a consensus on the outcome of the first example given during the meeting, where everyone agreed that this person got admin pay, or this person got regular pay, or no pay, or sick leave, or whatever. That basis was used by myself and I believe others in the vote. So to continue with the background, as Sheriff Drew noted, there was no issue with the other one, and the request was for the same precedent. I think that's a fair request. Supervisor Raddick did suggest the delay in the vote until the example could be verified, and I believe we all should have supported that. It's unfortunate that we were pushed to vote based on a last-minute mention of a grievance and a lawsuit. I don't think that is the best position for the board to be in when there's not a consensus on the facts. And what I want to communicate to the public is simply the reasoning for that decision and why this is back on the agenda to, I believe, reverse today. So on the day after the meeting, again, while the union was filing their grievance, and I believe this was due to a timetable they have, which is shorter than the week period between board meetings, so I understand that they're dealing with their own timeline. On that day, the day after the meeting, I was searching for the answer regarding the first case. Why did the administrative leave code referenced by Drew not show on the payroll report? We investigated and found that admin leave codes only for the deputies, which was the department of the first example, were entered correctly but translated differently than all the other departments, where they would show as not what they were entered as. Again, this only affected the deputies department in the payroll register, in the payroll system. And we did not know this last Tuesday. This is unfortunate that it was discovered after the meeting, but this was immediately corrected, of course. And again, this resulted in a case that was correctly inputted as admin leave, not showing as admin leave. So when we have, from my perspective, when we have payroll officials saying one thing about payroll and another office saying another thing, I think it's fair that at least myself and potentially other board members would say the payroll officials that deal with this report are the ones we're going to believe, so to speak, and get more information on. We needed to investigate this. Again, because the first case never showed in payroll reports as admin leave when it should have, the HR director was not aware of it at the 4/14 meeting and could not definitively advise the Board of Supervisors what the precedent was. I want to make clear that this error is not the Sheriff's Office's fault, and I don't believe it's anyone's fault currently in any department of the courthouse. We discovered this after looking into this example, which was again brought up as the main reason to approve this request, to be fair, and the next day found out what the problem was. It was a programming issue, it was a computer issue, and so I just wanted to introduce the next item here with some background on why I voted the way I did last week, because I believed it was in question and that the request was actually the first case of its kind. And actually, the truth is that it was not, and this was borne out by evidence we uncovered the day after the meeting. So, I want to put this in the record. The board makes better decisions when we have all the facts, just like I believe anyone listening does, any politician, any person in any position makes better decisions when they have all the facts. We now have all the facts. So, and I know the union understands this. I communicated this to them in the background, and I want to apologize to the affected employee and to the union and to the sheriff's office for what was clearly not their fault. But I also want to make clear that investigating this is something that we immediately did and found the reasoning why. The reason why was a computer issue, for lack of a better term. So those in the community that would say otherwise, such as Charlie Stone, bloviating all over the airwaves that this is some evidence of coldness on behalf of the board to law enforcement, or that this was a power struggle, is just brazen and stupid. And I want to get that on the record too, because it's so easy just to have a knee-jerk reaction to things, and that did not help. So if you're in the community and the first thing you do is you want to pit the sheriff's office against the board, that's not helping. what we did was we did our homework, we found the problem, we worked together, we apologize for the inconvenience, and we're going to move forward. That's all I have, unless someone else has anything. Thank you. Move on to item 11 for action from the Board of Supervisors, Keith Radig. This is approval to reverse the loss of accruals and pay of staff that were forced to be home due to COVID-related issues.
So, Melissa and I worked after our meeting to look into any staff person that pre-April 1st showed up to work, was willing to work, was told not to come to work, and given a date to come back. And basically, we called every department and got the numbers accurate. So this is a way to treat all the employees that were out that personal time fairly throughout the county. So I'll move it.
I'll second. Any questions on the particular departments addressed?
I do.
Yes.
So is this actually about, so let me ask the question to Mr. Radig, and I'll put it this way, to those that voted against it last week. Were you voting in opposition to the electeds having their say on what admin leave is and when it can be used?
Well, two reasons. One, the sheriff's department should not, by Iowa code, have the right to do administrative leave from what I see in the Iowa code. Second reason is we weren't treating everybody throughout the county fairly.
So then where do you stand on the Vestal lawsuit that was presented last week?
Well, the supervisors win. And I think next week we clear up administrative leave in our handbook, so it's clear that just like unpaid leave is clearly set out that the Board of Supervisors has to approve. I believe it even says under military leave, the board approves. But yet under administrative leave, it just says an official. And this is under our own handbook, not Iowa code. So I think we need to clear up our handbook. And I think we clear it up next week.
I just thought I'd ask the question.
No problem.
Any specific questions on the departments affected? We won't have this issue after April 1st all the way through the end of the year.
Was there a second? Did you second?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those say nay. Passes 4-0. Item 12 from Secondary Roads includes action item A, approve the certificate of completion of project G 2019 Stockpile Grease Pit with Hallett Materials of Wall Lake, Iowa, $547,375.
Work has been completed in compliance with the contract and specifications for the project. Recommend approval.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second by Potabom. Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
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 Those say nay. Passes 4-0. Item B is to approve the certificate of completion for project G 2019 Stockpile RR Pit with Hallett Materials of Wall Lake, Iowa for $343,140.
And once again, completed in compliance with the contract and specifications.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second by DeWitt. Hearing no discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Item C is to approve the certificate of completion of Project G 2019 Stockpile Hall with Hallett Materials of Wall Lake, Iowa for $352,950.
Again, completed in compliance with the contract and specifications.
I'll move approval.
Second the motion by DeWitt. Hearing no discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Item D is to receive bids for project number parent C278 and return them to the county engineer for review and recommendation.
You have our bids.
And the weapon.
Yes. Now duly armed. The first bid is from Nelson and Rock Contracting of Ottawa, Iowa. Bid bond is included. Total bid price, $290,394. $290,394. Next bid is from Dixon Construction of Correctionville, Iowa. Bid bond is included. Bid price, $175,979. $175,979. Next bid is from L.A. Carlson of Merrill, Iowa. Bid bond is included. Bid price, $177,706. $177,706. Final bid is from Peterson Contractors Incorporated of Rhinebeck, Iowa. Bid bond is included. Total bid price, $215,624. $215,624. I would request that the bids be returned to the county engineer and allow us to check and double check all the line items. With $2,000 apart, that's pretty close, and without taking a good deal of time here in the boardroom today, I want to be sure there's no errors.
Okay. I'll move to receive.
Second.
Second by DeWitt. Hearing no discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Item E will have no action on, which would have been to award the bid if the low quote is clearly determined by the bid results. Item 13 then for action is from Dennis Butler and Building Services, Kenny Schmitz. This is to approve DGR engineering agreement for professional services related to the 2080 agreement. Someone like to speak on this?
You stand on that side, I'll stand on this side. That's close enough. We've been told.
Or you just take turns, I mean.
Just don't lick the
Very
microphone.
much to talk about here. Basically, this is an agreement here with DGR. They have worked with the city multiple times on city contracts with school districts on roads, sidewalks, sewers, things like that. So they're probably the most logical person in the, in the county here to do this. What this will do is put it together a 2080 agreement on a share cost of the outside the site of the authority has control on. This will be the road, the sewer, the water, lines like that, and possibly the fiber coming, or fiber optic coming out there. So it's just get them hired, to get meetings together, like definitely the supervisor Matthew or whoever Matthew designate to attend these meetings, because this is where we work out the nitty gritty on the 2.8 million that they basically did talk about coming forward. Then if there's any cost, we'll have to incur above and beyond that. So this is just getting the ball rolling.
Yeah, this will define all the specifics of the plan to determine who is responsible for what, as far as the county side and the city side. And then we'll lay out, just as Dennis said, things like who's responsible for what on sewer, utilities, costs, if there's any land purchase, what that cost would be. If the city's going to contribute 2.8 million, which they said that they would have toward the street, it'll spell that out. And probably also some scheduled commitment dates will be part of that document. So it's going to be very important that, yes, that we have some board members there. Larry Goldberg is also requested to be part of the meeting since what some of these off-site infrastructure items entail do have an impact on the site development area itself. We've got the city has some sewer ducts that drain off or through that property via the old creek bed, and there's some discussion on what impact that could have as far as dollar amounts or requirements. And there's been a little bit of controversy already on what engineering needs may or may not be necessary in the view of the city and Woodbury County on whether some items might be required or might be only necessary for future developments. So it's going to be very important that we focused on what those are.
And this 28E agreement is needed before we actually get a lease between the authority and the city for their portion of the lease, because the lease, 2.8 million will count toward their 20-year lease for their payments each year.
But for purposes of this agreement, it's not a cost share. This is all paid by the county.
Yes.
And so DGR is acting as a representative of only the county for these, for this share,
Yes.
correct?
Correct. And we suggest we pay it out of our CIP. We do have funds unobligated there, so we could cover it there.
When do you anticipate meeting?
As soon as we get Brian, we'll talk to him tomorrow and try to get some dates set up.
Okay,
Follow through with you and Joshua also.
let me know.
Okay, excellent.
Joshua, any input on this?
No, I reviewed it and they made most of the changes that I asked for, so I'm comfortable with the agreement.
You else have any issues with it? None from the authority?
None at this time, no.
Not you, like as an authority.
Good,
enforcement
because
separate
that puts me on the
authority.
spot, and I'm trying to decide which hat to wear at this moment. No, as explained by Mr. Butler, I think we need to get some of these things funded, so, because people don't like to work for free.
Any other comments? I'll move it.
Second.
Second by DeWitt. Any discussion? More discussion, I should say. All's in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passes 4-0. Item 14 for action, again, states due to COVID-19, the board will be discussing various issues and may take appropriate steps for the protection and safety of both the community and county employees. Only thing I have to mention to kick this off is I've received some constituent concerns about screening procedures, health-wise, at other county buildings outside of the courthouse, specifically the LEC. They requested just more public discussion about this. Impression is that only the courthouse is being talked about and guarded, and procedures only for that, but there's still court going on in the other building. Although the sheriff's office may have their own procedures for the jail, there may be, you know, there's concerns with the entry there. So I just wanted to throw that out. There's a request for some discussion on that. I mean, it would help the board to know if there's an official request from the sheriff's office to provide more services, or if there's the capacity to do so or the willingness. So you don't have to get up, Major Wick, because you weren't anticipating this, but if you want to comment on what you know about this topic, okay.
I brought it up last week and it was crickets,
Yeah.
but
Because Jasper Hoyt would be included also. I remember years ago when we put security in up here, the same discussion was had, why now security in those places?
Yep. Any willingness to discuss it in some particular fashion, or ask for input from the sheriff's office next week, perhaps?
I think that'd be a good idea. Because, I mean, if we say, yeah, we're going to do it, they're going to do it. So it probably wouldn't be bad to get their input on it.
any thoughts at the moment? Or you don't want to commit too much today?
Major Wick with the Sheriff's Office. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to obviously commit to anything. We'd have to sit down and have a discussion about it, figure out what we thought would be needed, discuss it with the sheriff. Ultimately, it would be his decision. So.
All right. Anything else to discuss regarding the pandemic and our place in all of it? Everyone's a happy camper. That's good. Courthouse full of happy campers.
A large unknown.
Well, just keep in the back of your mind, we will have to decide what to do with the screening procedure on May 5th, which is when our last directive as a board expires. Obviously, the governor did extend the school closures to the end of the year, so we were matching that. We'll have to decide if we're going to continue to match that or divert into another course of screening or otherwise. It is, you know, the reports that it's very contagious before there are symptoms is, you know, throws into questions the utility of some of the temperature checks, but as a part of several different items, it doesn't hurt. So we're simply doing what's possible while being open for business.
You brought up the governor's thing, and I missed her press conference today. They didn't extend anything beyond April 30th other than the schools, correct?
I don't believe so, no.
Because I was kind of thinking that might come up today, and then I got busy at work and missed the press conference. So.
Yep. Anything else? Questions? All right. Item 15 is reports on committee meetings. I did want to receive into the minutes something I believe we all got a copy of, which is an April 13th letter from the Public Health Accreditation Board to our county, stating that Siouxland District Health was awarded the designation of national accreditation through PHAB, which is FAB, on March 17th. To receive this national accreditation Through FAB, Siouxland District Health Department underwent a rigorous, multifaceted peer-reviewed assessment process to ensure it met nationally established public health quality standards and measures. So I want to congratulate Director Green, and I know the rest on the Board of Health are very proud of this achievement. So I'll move to receive it into the minutes.
I'll second, but can we show it as saying certified fabulous?
You know, you're a little late to that because
Did somebody say it
on that
beforehand?
joke, yes, because all of the promotional posters for Fab say fabulous, as you just stated, because it was such an easy dad joke that other dads thought of it first that work for the Public Health Board. On the motion to receive, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Please give my copy to the auditor. Any other reports on committee meetings? Mr. Dewitt, when's the Rolling Hills committee? Did they already meet?
It's on my other phone. No,
Okay.
not met.
Do you know if the incidents are down overall, just since there's less people going out?
I do not. And even when seems like we get information that seems to, I don't know, if it's unverifiable or not reliable, I'll put it that way, so.
No one else? Item 16 is citizen concerns. Andy, is there anyone on the line?
No one on the line.
No one on the line. Heard that before. Last 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. It's lonely up here at the top. Item 17, any board concerns? All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.